Hello guys, I'm Dr. Paithos and welcome back to my channel, The Internet Dentist. This video is basically for both MBBS and BDS students, and in this video we'll get to know, is MBA or is MPH the right option for you? Of this universe, there's nothing wrong or right. You have to take care of what is the right thing for you. It might be MBA, it might be MPH. So all these things depends on the individual choice of the students and what do they aspire for, what is their future expectations. So just in case if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for the latest video updates. It is quite natural again that I might have missed on certain topics or some of your basic questions, so do let me know in the comment section over there so that I can reach out to you individually in the chat box, and I can probably answer all those questions in the chat itself. If the questions are very repetitive and so important enough, I would like to take another session on the same topic. So thank you and keep watching the video till the end so that you know at the end what is the right option for you. So I am a dentist by qualification. I did my BDS from a government dental college and hospital, and since then I've been doing a master's in hospital management. So I've researched a lot about MPH. I have friends who are doing MPH. I talk to them very regularly. I have also friends who are doing MBA or those who have already done MBA and working somewhere in some corporate companies. So most of the things that I'll be telling here would be true to my best knowledge. And also I'll be trying to quote a few examples from the real corporate world and real people that I meet or that I have talked to. So it won't be like much of a theoretical discussion. It would be very much practical that you can actually relate to. So if you don't have a clinical eye, if you don't find yourself or you don't aspire to be a core clinical practitioner, and rather you have a business mindset, so that might be the right way for you to switch to MPH or MBA. I mean, the name itself says enough for what these studies are for. So as an MBA, you'll be dealing with business strategies, working for some nice corporate. As an MBA, you have a lot of options to explore. For example, you can do MBA in finance, you can do MBA in marketing management. You'll find that you always have two options. You can either have one major and then minor. So for example, if I take marketing management, I can have the second subject as strategies. So overall, what I will be specializing in would be MBA in marketing and strategy. So that way it works. You can, I mean, there are n number of companies that can hire you, knowing very well that you have a background of medical or dental studies and then you are pursuing MBA. So accordingly, I can enlist a few. It can be a pharmaceutical company, it can be a medical device company, it can be a medical insurance company, and I mean, just for example, you also can be a business consultant working for several MNCs such as McKinsey, Bain and Company and BCG. For MPH, you can work with national health missions across the India, state level, at central level, and also you can work with some most prestigious internationally working organizations such as WHO, or maybe working for UNICEF. So for MBA, you don't have to go into the villages, you don't have to go into the rural areas, but that might be case with MPH. Once you have done MPH, you'd be expected to work from a very ground level, and once you have certain amount of experience from the ground level, such as for some primary health center or looking after some major district event, so that way you get the basic insight from the ground, you get the experience, and then you move accordingly to a higher level, maybe working at a state level or maybe looking after multiple state and territories. Coming back to MBA, as an MBA the scope is limitless. I won't be going initially into the salary and CTC, but you can be as good as a CEO or CXO of the top multinational company. As an MPH, you can get to work with the top organizations in the world. Maybe you can start from being a medical or dental officer for certain programs. You might also end up representing India at the global level. I mean, who knows? Doing an MBA, it would be least likely that you'd end up working for a government organization. Whereas after completing an MPH, you might actually end up having a good government job with a good salary. As an MBA, you might also have to work in field certain times, but it won't be in rural areas. It's very likely to work in rural areas. You'd be mostly posted in some urban areas, maybe top tier cities or towns even, and you might actually have to work in the fields depending on the area which you have done your MBA in. Maybe just for example, if you have done MBA in marketing or sales, you might just start at the ground level compared to the MBA in finance, wherein you'll be based at the head office and there you'll be working. Another MBA you can also do in HR management, which is also where you get access to the head office directly, and it's very, HR is very least likely to work, or you can say never works in the field itself. Whereas for MPH, you might actually have to travel a lot in the local areas. You might have to travel through a bike if possible. Certain companies or organization might be good enough to provide you a four-wheeler with a driver. How do you determine whether you are the right candidate for doing an MBA, or is it the MPH that you should be doing? So for MBA, if you are very much excellent in communications, if you know the business, if you have the business mind, also of course depends on your interest, you can definitely do a MBA. So as MPH candidate, you might also have to have a good communication, but also at the same time, if you know any regional languages, those are a plus point. Language is generally not the barrier for MBA because they usually deal with persons who are actually those who actually know English well. So now coming to salary part, if you have done an MBA from a good top B school, you might actually end up starting CTC as good as 14 or 15 lakhs per annum. Whereas if you have not made it to the B schools, it could be likely that the standard package would be somewhere in between 5 to 9 lakhs per annum. Once after doing MPH or MBA in healthcare management, you can see the starting salary per month would be around 25 to 35, or even a little more than that. Maybe you can expect as high as 50 or 55, but that is again very rare. Even if you have done your MPH from the best of the schools, just like Tata Institute of Social Sciences and IIHMR, you can actually end up bagging a good CTC of 8 to 10 lakhs as well. Working as an MBA, you might actually switch industries. It's not very mandated that just because you have a medical background, you need to only work with the pharmaceutical or medical devices companies, but also you can switch to FMCGs or other business. I've seen people who are having a BDS or MBBS education, then they have pursued their MBA, and they are actually working with some bank and finance companies. As a medico, after doing MPH, you can again come to corporate to work with certain research organizations or even pharmaceutical companies which have their own research and development team, and also you are more likely to be welcomed by them. As an MPH with the BDS or MBBS, you won't prove as a good asset when it comes to core hospital industry or pharmaceutical industry. Apart from the research and development part, your core field area would be health missions, health organizations. You have the scope of PhD after MPH. Same stands true for MBA, but more people I can see are doing PhD after MPH. They actually end up being a professor at some prestigious university, and same stands true for those people who have done their MBBS and BDS and are doing MPH overseas. Just to keep the video short, I'll be ending it up here, and maybe in the next session we'll get to know much more about MPH or MBA. Your sharing and comments in the chat box will actually help me grow and will motivate me to come up with more videos such like this. Do please feel free to let me know in the comments what I have missed on and what should I add into my next video.